Welcome back, guys. The 100th episode of the Hawk Vision podcast. I'm your host, Chuck Hawkins, here to help you shorten the learning curve on your way to greatness. Make sure you like, share, subscribe across all your social media platforms, especially here at YouTube. More importantly, share this podcast with other visionaries just like you. Before we get started, take a look in the show notes. You'll see a link to one of my favorite things. You know, I love me some coffee. Now you can support the show by buying a cup or two for your boy. And those that are subscribers will get some extra back-end content. All right, now that that's out the way, our guest this week is one of the most powerful business women that I have ever had the pleasure to meet. She is undoubtedly one of the world's next billionaires, and I do not say that lightly. She is a phenomenal leader, strategic visionary, expert negotiator. You may have seen her as one of the partners with Rap Snacks. You may have seen her recently working with Steve and Marjorie Harvey's Harvey Foundation. You might have even seen her as one of the hosts of Rick Ross's Boss Up conference. You might have even seen her interviewing Master P himself. She is the owner of the largest Black-owned real estate firm in Atlanta. She is one of the best networkers that I've ever met. This woman is not just a best-selling author, a teacher, an investor. She is the definition of a visionary with hundreds of thousands of people following her across multiple social media platforms. She has a proven track record of success and is also going down in history as the youngest Black woman to be a broker owner, the phenomenon herself, my friend, Miss Denise The Broker Williams. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Chuck. You are awesome. You give the best introductions. Oh my gosh. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for having me back again here for this monumental episode.
Man, I couldn't have. There's so many people that I wanted to have on. And when I started looking at the numbers, I was like, oh, episode 100 is like, how could I even record this without the last year that you've had, literally almost to the day that we did our last episode?
That's crazy.
Man,
that's crazy. But hats off to you, though, for this to be the 100th episode. That means 100 times you had to commit to doing this. 100 times you had to make sacrifices from not being able to spend time with your kids and your wife and doing what you wanted to do. 100 times that you had to be vulnerable enough to ask other entrepreneurs to come and speak on my podcast and possibly be turned down and be told no. You know what I mean? What about 100 times that you had to tell your excuses no and tell your purpose yes, to get on here and be committed and dedicated and focused on what your vision is. And so for that, I had to come on here and represent for you because many people need to know that it took the one, right? It took that first episode to get you to 100 episodes to where you are now. So that person who's on the fence about starting a podcast, on the fence about starting a business, on the fence about this, it takes the one. It takes the one. Don't look at the success of what people have today. Think about that day one and what their day one looked like. And I'm so honored to be here because I know the growth of this podcast. This is just the beginning for you. So thank you so much for having me here.
Oh man, listen, if I'd have known you was gonna come in that hot, you know, I might have had to make the trip to the ATL, which I do owe you. So
you owe me a trip. Listen, you owe me a trip. You and your wife, y'all have to come see me. I have all the restaurants lined up.
Oh,
y'all gotta get VIP treatment. You know what I'm saying? Come on, y'all got to make it happen.
I'm gonna make it happen. I told you so. The beginning of the year, my birthday is in January, so we're looking at January, February. We gonna come out there. I have to get it done. I have to get it done.
This is recorded now, right?
Yes. The people now.
Y'all hold him accountable. He said January, February. He will be in Atlanta.
People down there. Now the question is, what country are you gonna be in?
I'm gonna be in Cancun tomorrow.
Right, literally tomorrow. That's crazy.
Yes, tomorrow.
Oh man.
But January, I don't know. I honestly want to go to the Vegas show. I want to go see Usher in Vegas for New Year, so I might be there. But if it's after that, you know.
Yeah,
I have my eye on that.
I forgot about that. Huh.
His residency. I heard it was a really good time.
I believe it. Well, listen, I want to respect your time. I understand that billionaires' time is very valuable, so I'm not going to waste it. I am honored as well that you shut out some time to get with me, especially with your day being the way that it was. It was crazy today. We're literally about a year since the last time that we were on the show, and I feel like that year went by in about 90 days. When I watch what you've accomplished in the last year, my first question as an author is, what is this chapter of your life called?
This chapter of my life, that's a really, really good question. The chapter of my life right now, I would say, is my season of gratitude. This season, this chapter is all about just gratitude, and gratitude equals abundance. Like, I've realized the more grateful that I am, the more appreciative of the accomplishments that I get. Because I think as entrepreneurs, we get title syndrome, where we're just seeking that next title, that next title, that next, big thing. It's almost like a hit. We need that next hit. And like, oh, I did this. You know what I'm saying? It's addicting. And I've learned that I have searched and conquered so many different things, but at some point you have to just relax. At some point you have to say, you know what? I have what it takes to be great. I have what I need. Continue to just double down on those things and be grateful for everything that you've been able to accomplish at this point, and stop seeking more things to add to your tool belt, because you can get wrapped up in that so much and it can distract you and all of that. And I'm just like, no, just sit and be thankful. And since I've been more patient, things have been coming to me, because, when you chase money, what happens? You get exhausted, you get tired. You're running after, you're going to get it. But once you learn how to just hone in on your skills and be able to use your mouth to just open and speak to people, use your relationships and leverage, things will come to you. And that's been what this season has been about, just abundance, gratitude, and like relationships.
Wow, I love it. And it's funny that you mentioned, taking time to slow down, because I'm always in your messages talk about, if you don't sit down and rest, if you don't slow down, because you move. I think anybody on the outside looking in would have to assume that, obviously your days are busy and cluttered, and you got a lot of things going on, but what does it feel like to have the days that you have, and then take that time finally to sit down and look at what you've accomplished?
Yeah, so it just really, I do it in the morning most times, or at night, not during the day-to-day when I'm like out and about. I'm trying to get it. I'm after it. But I've really, really honed in. Like, I was already waking up and saying, the 10 things I'm thankful for each day. But even with that, it became routine to me. It was just kind of like, I'm grateful for this.
Yes,
all those different things. But now it's really just like, thank you, God. Thank you. There's just a softness to it now. There is a weight that I feel, where I feel just so connected to his energy and his spirit. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm really living the life that I've designed for myself. Oh my gosh, thank you for choosing me to be a voice for the culture. Thank you for every opportunity and every door that you've given me. You chose me, out of the 9 billion people in the world. Thank you for choosing me. And so it's a different kind of posture and energy now that I put behind my gratitude. And I think that it's a beautiful, beautiful area of growth that I'm experiencing.
Yeah. One of the things that I tell all of the listeners and my visionaries is that no miracle happens without somebody doing something. And so when you mentioned that he chose you, you also accepted the call. Right? Because a lot of people get restricted by, wait, is this for me? Can I be successful in this industry? There's already 34 other people. We talked about on the last episode, Atlanta is hot right now for real estate and entrepreneurship as well. So how did you build that belief system to just go ahead and step up and say, you know what, I'm gonna filter out the noise. It's Denise time.
Yes. That's one of my hashtags that I've been using a lot this year. It's my time, actually. So that's pretty cool that you said that. But one of my mantras, I don't know if I shared this with you last year, but it is, I am the best in the business. And I believe that through and through. I am the best in the business. It doesn't mean that other people haven't sold more real estate than me. That has nothing to do with it. It's about my mindset and the confidence that I have in myself. I know that when clients come to me, they're going to get amazing service. They're going to get to the closing table if I have anything to do with it. Obviously, there are things that can come and, destroy transactions like the one I'm going through right now. But that's a rare occurrence. But everything that I can control, they're going to get the best version of Denise Williams. And I think when you're building a business, you have to really just think about the horse in a horse race. When they have their blinders on, they are focused on the finish line. They're not worried about the other 6, 7 horses that are running next to them. And when you're an entrepreneur, you cannot worry about the 6, 7, 100,000 people that might be in your industry. You have to focus on your income goals. You have to focus on your legacy, your lifestyle, and put those blinders on. And I've been able to do that successfully because I'm confident in my ability to get to my personal goals. And one of the things that entrepreneurs also have to remember is that no matter how many people are in your industry, you do not have the structured time nor resources to manage every client that needs your services.
Right.
So why is it that we get so wrapped up in competition? My competitors can't service every single client. I can't service every single client. So what does that mean? Go on a grocery aisle. You will see different brands for every item that you need. Yes. And if that doesn't inspire you to keep pushing toward the mark and being ambitious and going after it, I don't know what else will. There's always going to be options, but are you going to be the option that people choose is what you can control.
Listen, the power in the voice is different this year, Denise. It's different this year. I told you public speaking was coming. It's different this year. I love it. You've grown your business. You now have the CEO Academy. I got a 2-part question for you. How does it feel to be responsible for dreams of new agents? And then what has this side of the business taught you that you thought you were ready for?
So the first part of your question was, how does the dreams of new agents, say it one more time?
How does it feel to be responsible for those dreams for new agents?
Be responsible for those dreams. So I've always felt responsible for their dreams, whether they were new or experienced. And the way that I navigate in that space is, one, I teach my agents, or when they're onboarded with me from jump, I let them know I'm not their boss. I'm their broker. Yeah. There's a difference. You are an independent contractor. You are your own boss. It's your responsibility to become successful. It's my responsibility to give you the resources and tools to give you a possibility or a chance to be successful, but you have to utilize the things that I'm giving to you. So I sleep well at night with regards to the offerings I give to my company, because I know that I'm giving you the blueprint to success. Yeah. Whether or not you choose to take that road or do your own thing is going to be totally up to you. And when you're in a position of leadership, that is literally the best thing that you can do, is just offer what they need, give them the support and tools that they want. Some people are going to take it and some people aren't. But I know for a fact that I give Williams & Co. my all. And if that's not good enough for someone to be successful with, then they might need to go to a KW. They might need to find something else. But that's how I set my my business model up. And I've been able to grow and hire agents left and right because they know that I care. That's another thing, like, stop not caring about people that are attached to you. Right. Stop focusing on the dollar, focus on the people. You know, it is a people business. When you care about the people, the money will come. And that has been one of my secrets to success with regard to maintaining an independent brokerage. Because when you think about it, why would someone choose a small boutique brokerage in the city of Atlanta when there are hundreds of big name brokerages in this city? Yeah. So it's the heart of my company that helps me to grow. It is the unique selling propositions that I offer, and embedded in that is that I care. So always remember that as a foundational principle. No matter how much money you make, or no matter how much you think they may be able to bring in for you, people will leave if they don't think that you care about them. Absolutely. Absolutely. The second part of that, and it's funny that you said if working for Williams & Co. is not enough, right? If what you give them is not enough. And as soon as you said that, I started thinking about, well, listen, sometimes you got to stay at a Motel 6 before you can appreciate the Ritz. Absolutely. Right? That is a fact. You know, they may need to start at the Keller Williams, and no shade to Keller Williams. It's $1 billion company, but it's a different experience, right? Absolutely. You go from being a number to a family member. Yes. So that is really, like, that's the conversation I have with them all the time. It's like, I joined this big brokerage and I feel like a number. I don't feel like I can get in contact with anyone. The broker recruited them and gave them this huge, nice list of marketing materials. And we offer this, this, and that. Yeah. And then as soon as you join, you don't know the first person to call. You definitely don't have a broker cell phone number. Let's start there. They're not showing up to train you. They're going to push you off to other people. Yes. I'm very hands-on with my team. And then I've even had agents that have left and come back. They thought the grass was greener. and they came back to Williams and Co. So, I just continue to do what I know to do. I had a recruiting call with an agent just yesterday, and she was just so shocked that I actually called her. She booked on my calendar and she just could not believe she was talking to me. And I'm just like, wow, I never want to lose touch with my team to feel like I'm untouchable. You know what I mean? I know that I'm growing and I have layered myself. So I have an associate broker that manages that process now.
Yes.
But it feels good for me to dive in sometimes and be one-on-one with my agents, and you're just not going to get that at a big firm.
Yeah. So the second part to that question is, what is the CE Owner Academy taught you that you thought you were ready for?
The CE Owner Academy has taught me that I have to really think about what I want to prioritize, and I cannot go after everything at one time. So I launched my CE Owner Academy back, I believe, in June. Yes. And I was so excited about it. I had like, oh my God, this is going to be my next big thing.
Yeah. Had
an amazing launch, over 100 people on my very first class. And then I got overwhelmed and I was like, oh my gosh, am I ready for this? Oh my gosh, this is legit another business. And I started to kind of freak out. And so I have treated the CE Owner Academy like my stepchild. And it's taught me that it's okay to start other businesses, but make sure that you are really 100% prepared and you have the right people in place to help you manage it. Because when I launched, I had a company that I hired that was going to manage it, and it didn't end up being a good fit. So now that I'm no longer working with them, I cannot commit the same amount of time and energy I thought I would be able to it. So now I have to do a relaunch of my academy with a new company and start all over again. So it taught me that even when you think you're business savvy, your businesses can still fail for a temporary moment, and then you get back, dust yourself off and try again. So that's where I am with that.
I love it because obviously 100 entrepreneurs have been on the show. I have not done a single episode where it's just myself talking yet. That's the next phase. But one of the things that I found is that everybody that's been on the show is still actively learning. And I think that that's the part that we forget is when we watch people on social media, when we watch these multimillionaires, we assume that they have everything figured out and that they never have bad days. They never fail. They never feel defeated. And I just think it's important for people to know, like, we pull our hair out too.
Oh my gosh.
We come in the house, have a double shot, and
oh my gosh. If I showed y'all my wine collection, y'all would judge me.
No, listen, the visionaries understand. They know. Coffee, whiskey, they understand.
Oh, yes. So did you see, just to even, give them a real life example, I just lost $20,000 this week. Ooh. You know what I mean?
Ooh, so look, what's the little TikTok? Oh. How
many people would that completely just derail your life?
Yeah.
That's someone's annual salary. I just lost that, in one transaction. Yeah. And you're constantly learning. It's like, what could I have done better? What could I have done to save the deal? Even though it was something that happened that wasn't in my control, it still impacts all parties. I know I could have did a little something with 20 bands. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go to Cancun tomorrow. I wanted to do some ratchet stuff with my friends. Now I got to rethink some things.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. So let me ask you.
You have failures.
It's funny because we've talked all about how you build and how you care and hands-on, and that kind of leads into your client appreciation videos. Like, they're legendary. When did you realize not only the psychology behind client appreciation, but leveraging the moments for social media as well?
Oh, so that's kind of just in me. So I am a big giver. Like, I love gifting. Like, gifting is like my thing.
Yes.
It's my thing. I love it. So I didn't realize the power that I had with my creativity and how impactful it could be until like a couple years ago with regard to my clients, client services side.
Gotcha.
So when I posted, I think this was it this year or last year? I think it was this year. It was this year because I just started on TikTok. So y'all follow me on TikTok because I got to get my TikTok together. I posted a video. I had no idea it was going to go viral. All it was me walking with Versace gift bags across the closing attorney sign. And I got almost 1 million views from that experience.
Yes.
So I knew before that it was important to my clients and that it made them feel good, because I'm all about that lasting impression. You want to have an amazing first impression, and then you want to make a lasting impression, because real estate can be so volatile. It's so emotional. It's an emotional roller coaster. You want the last memory that they have of you to be the one that stands out the most. So for every closing and every client that I have, I always make sure that they have an amazing closing experience. They're going to completely forget about the delays, the extension,
the stress,
the appraisal report, the inspection report. All that stuff is going to go out the window, because we're going to drink our wine. We're going to open nice gifts. And now they're going to refer Denise to everyone that they know. And that has been an amazing return on investment for me. So that viral video actually is God is so good. That viral video got me a client who was then approved for $2 million 2 weeks later. Not only that, she has now introduced me to an organization. It's called WEW, Women Elevating Women. It's the Woo Crew. I actually had a meeting with them this morning. It was like my 4th meeting, which is an organization for women who have, you have to definitely make over six figures, or have $1 million business, et cetera. I'm not going to get into all the breakdown, but
all that little stuff.
An elite girls group for Black women, well, not even just Black women, but for women. So just from having Versace bags at a closing for something that was totally unrelated to her, she said, I love the way that you do that. She did more research, looked on my page. We had a conversation, and this lady is like my sister now. She lives in Delaware. She's not even in Atlanta. I've never physically met this lady in person. We've only had phone conversations and Zoom. Just off the GP, off my social media, off conversations we had, she introduced me to this other lady. And now I'm in this incredible organization getting referrals. And these women you have to make a certain amount to even be in the club. And they're sending me business like crazy. I actually owe them a marketing video to tell them how amazing the organization is and how proud I am to be about it. But I'm going to a conference in October for this organization, where there's going to be women who have just done all kinds of crazy things. So you already know I'm about to network like crazy.
Absolutely.
To meet women, networks crazy, 50 million, 60 million. You don't even know women who have this. There are men, but there are not women that you can just call up on the phone to say, hey girl, how are you? And this is the environment that I'm about to walk into in October, and all because of TikTok.
Listen, no, not just TikTok. You have done the work.
Yes, that too. And they got
you have receipts, right? So it's not just TikTok, but I understand what you're saying. Let me ask you this: you've been going hard down there with I call them the Black Avengers. You've been down there with Neo, Trap, 500. Tell the people what it's like to be in the meeting after the meeting, like when the social media goes off, when the lights go off. To be in the meeting after the meeting, knowing that you've earned that seat at the table. What does that feel like?
It feels amazing. For one, it's not a lot of women that they actually kind of bring into their little circle, right? And it's an honor because they trust me in real life. You know what I mean? They respect me in real life, and it's not on anything other than business. And that's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Not some of them are married, some of them are single, but they are so professional. They are so knowledgeable in their crafts. They're so loving. It literally feels like a family being around them. And like, we can just sit down and kick it and eat. I've gone to their houses. We've eaten, we've talked, I've gone out to dinner. Like, it's a real thing. It's a real family. And it's a real movement. Like, I'm so proud of them. I'm just beyond proud of them. I'm actually putting together a marketing campaign for them as well. So that's like a little key alert. So they don't know, but I bought all of their t-shirts. And so I'm going to do like a video kind of dedicating, my Instagram for the day to them, because those relationships do open more doors. And we've been able to share resources. Like Trap just sent me a commercial lead. I'm helping somebody find a commercial building off Trap's referral. Nice. So it really pays off. Zoe the Goat, he's my client. He's looking for a multi-million-dollar property. Him 500, him and Turquoise is like one of my BFFs now. You know what I'm saying? So it just grows and it grows and it grows. And it's so beautiful to see it all come together. And even got multiple leads from David Shands when I went to the Alumni Affair event. So networking and being in the room has completely changed my life. And ladies, I promise you, you don't have to, how do I say this the most politically correct way?
Listen, because I think I know what you're about to say. I don't even want it to be politically correct. Give them what they need to hear.
You don't need to bust it wide open to get to the top. You don't have to do that. I promise you, you don't have to do that. Don't lead with beauty, lead with brains.
Yeah.
Use your mind, use your talents, use God's gifts. You don't have to go get a fake body. You don't have to, I haven't had any enhancements to my body. I just use what God has given you, which is your mind, which is your talent. You are valuable. Do you not know you're a woman? That means you already have a superpower. You already can create momentum. You're a woman. We're special from jump.
Let's go.
Be respectful, respect yourself, and they're going to respect you. You set the tone.
Absolutely.
You set the tone. You know, they wouldn't want me around if I was all like that and their wives. It would be catty. I wouldn't be able to move like I move in these circles if I didn't know how to handle myself. You know what I mean? So just think about that. The way that you dress when you're going around, make sure you're going for the right reasons to network, build business, and keep it there.
Yeah, I think that it's important to hear that part because social media always shows one part of what it looks like. Everybody wants to be the cute realtor. Everybody wants to be, you know, the bombshell lawyer or whatever the case is. And I think that although the hierarchy isn't right, even though, you know, men should, you know, treat everybody equally, all that good stuff, it's a different environment when you trust and respect the woman in the room for her accomplishments only. You know what I mean? Like I
am the only woman in a lot of meetings when I'm in meetings with Rap Snacks.
Yeah.
I am extremely strategic about what I wear when I go to those meetings because I need to make sure that my seat at the table is secure and solid based on what's up here. I don't need you distracted by anything else.
Yes.
And that has made me more like one of the guys almost in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm no longer like just eye candy or any of that. It's like, where's Denise? We want her opinion for real.
Right.
So it's just beautiful. I love it.
Oh, man,
my life is amazing.
She said my life is amazing. Like you just realized, like, you know what?
I'm just great. I'm just feeling gratitude. Thank you, God.
I love it. I love it. We had talked a while back about making our children part of the business so they have a level of buy-in and they understand the time commitments. Does your son have a favorite part of the business yet?
His favorite part of the business is really, I think, going out into the field with me and seeing the mansions. When I show luxury property, he enjoys that. Which is very tricky because it really depends on the client. Like the client has to be real cool with that. But the other part that he learns that he's starting to love is the investing side. So when you see me out and I'm doing those investing videos or pictures, my son is taking those. He's like my recorder when I go. I intentionally bring him and do those on the weekends so that he can actually film and record and be a part of that process. And so after we leave the investment homes, we always do like a recap of what he learned, what he can fix. Because I really, he's my only child. So he's, you know, he has to be exposed to a little bit of hard work because his life is pretty easy. You know what I mean? Wake up, go to school, come home, you eat what you want. He got this DoorDash app, which is the worst decision I probably could have ever made. And it's so funny. He makes it so cool now. He's like, Mom, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to cook. I'm about to dash.
Look, like he's doing you a favor.
I'll just dash.
I love it.
But yeah, I think the investing side is definitely becoming something he's interested in for sure.
Yeah, one of the things that I like about how you include him is, and he'll probably figure this out, you know, 10, 10, 15 years down the line, but you are planting seeds of what expectations are.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. For the type of homes that are accessible, for the businesses behind it, how to attain it. Like all he's going to remember as a child is multi-million-dollar homes. Right. So he's not going to be one of the kids that, and, you know, and everybody's different. So I don't want to say that this is where I have to be politically correct. I don't want to say this and belittle anyone's lifestyle, but he's not one of the kids that will say, oh, where should I get my first apartment? No, his mindset is going to be, which multifamily should I get first?
Absolutely.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yes, definitely.
I talk to a lot of business owners, and it's always interesting to me that they have these private moments where they feel overwhelmed and they just kind of need to shut down for a minute. But in that moment, they also tell me they get a message from someone out of the blue that encourages them. My question, when's the last time that happened to you?
Chuck, you DM me all the time and you give me this.
Oh, God. You weren't supposed to say me. No, you weren't supposed to say me in general. Like, but I think that, I mean, that goes to our relationship though, because I know.
And I have to salute you. Like, seriously. When you do that, it is so helpful because you understand it. You know what I mean? You really do get it. You understand it. And you see the work that goes into the day-to-day. And that's why I know it's coming from a genuine place. But I recently made a post maybe a couple days ago where I just did a thank you post. I wasn't expecting a lot of likes. I wasn't expecting a lot of views. I wanted that message to go to whoever needed to hear it. Because we do get wrapped up in ourselves sometimes as far as our success and just thinking like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing I need to do? And then you're getting all these messages and people are saying thank you and congratulations and all that. I feel bad when I'm not able to respond to everything. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel, because I'm like, I'm not trying to be Hollywood. I genuinely just did not see the message or like missed it, or you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to do something that was kind of broad so I can cast that net of just gratitude and telling them thank you. But every time I get a message or a DM from anyone, that helps me to get back out of that bed. I'm not gonna lie, you know, I definitely had a day last week that I was feeling very, very just overwhelmed with everything. And I get in moments where I'm disappointed in myself. I think we're our biggest critics.
Very much.
I know that I am, for sure. It's like, why did I even say that? Why, you know, I'm going to think about this interview afterwards. I'm like, why did I say blessed wide open?
That's so funny.
You know what
That's
I mean?
going to be the title of the show, blessed wide open. You know?
Like clickbait.
Right.
So yeah, I sometimes I'm just like, you know, I didn't hit my goals this month. I didn't do this. I should have had this. So being your biggest critic sometimes really can discourage you, and just it's there, but you can't allow that to stay too long. Right. I don't allow myself to down myself for too long. Like I'll go at myself for a little bit and then I'm like, all right, but you did do X, Y, and Z, but you did do da-da-da-da-da, because people can say things to you, but you have to also have that internal trigger to where you go back to that mantra, like, I am the best in the business. Let me get up. Let me go do this. Let me stop playing. You know, and you have to give yourself that own self pep talk.
I love it. I love it. We have to spend a little bit of time on the industry just for the sake of, you know, doing our due diligence. My question being, is the barrier for entry harder now that there's a spotlight on the industry, or is there still a barrier of education to make homeownership harder to attain?
Homeownership. So this is a homeownership question for people looking to purchase?
Yes.
Got you. I would say that the barrier is not necessarily hard. You just need the education to know what you need to provide. So when I'm doing a home buyer consultation with someone, I'm not going to just give you what you see on the internet. I'm going to give you examples of like actual situations that make it make sense to you so that you're prepared for the highs and lows of what you may face in this process. So, you know, I'm very thorough with regard to how I describe the market, and then we go into detail about the paperwork. That's one of the things I think sets me apart from other agents, is being able to like really tell you what a lender, from a lender's perspective, or if you're going to be able to be qualified for this loan or not. a lot of agents want to they get so excited and eager to jump into the process, when really we need to go ahead and do a preliminary check of these documents, these items, and how much money you're going to need before you even get started. That way you're not discouraged midway through because they're asking for documents you didn't think that they were going to ask for, or it's more money than you anticipated. So to give the listeners just a quick number, a quick figure, if you're a homeowner and you're looking to purchase a home, I'll say this for the Georgia market, but I think it can span across markets. If you take a purchase price, so a lot of you are looking on Zillow, Truly, or Realtor.com, you're looking at houses, right? You're like, okay, at $500,000, this house has exactly what I need. So I want to be around this. You can also use mortgagecalculator.org, which will help you to identify what your monthly payment will be at that purchase price, right? So when you have those two things, you can kind of determine, okay, I know I want my mortgage payment to be around X. That's what the mortgage calculator is for. And that will also help you identify what purchase price you need to actually be looking at. Because sometimes they'll just go home, features, boom, before they go dollars, boom, boom, boom. So let's focus on that side. But just a quick formula that you all can use is take 7% of the purchase price, and that should give you your worst case scenario. Okay, so 7% of whatever purchase price you're interested in, and that'll give you your worst case scenario as far as how much money you need to have in your bank account to successfully close on that property.
Got you. Okay, because when you said worst case scenario, I was like, okay, go ahead.
That's without having any knowledge of, you know, what your loan amount is going to be, or your down payment is going to be, because most buyers are traditionally FHA, conventional VA, or USDA. The top two are going to be FHA and conventional. So 3.5% is that FHA number. That's where 3.5% comes from. Conventional can be between 3 to 5%. Okay, if you're on the 5%, then that 7 goes up a little bit more. But I'm going to tell you how that 7% is broken down. So essentially, I'm giving you guys an example of an FHA borrower. So 3.5% of that is going to go for the FHA down payment. 1% of that is going to go towards your earnest money deposit. What is earnest money? Earnest money is basically you telling the seller, hey, seller, I'm serious about purchasing your property. So I want you to take this property off the market for me. It's the same way you look at layaway, where you put a little bit down and then you come back and pay the rest, you know, later at closing. So think about it like that. That 1% is your deposit. And then you have to consider your closing costs. So closing costs are typically going to range about 2.5 to 3% of that purchase price. So now we're at 6.5, right? So then you have that little percentage for your appraisal and for your inspection. So I don't care if something is $300, you know, an inspection ranges between $300-$400. I still want to know about it, right? Because I might need to get that 300 from somebody. I'm not counting anybody's pockets.
Right.
I want you to be aware from jump what you're going to be, what you should expect to come out of pocket for. And so that's why I give them just a simple, easy number to think about. If we're doing just a very basic conversation, this is like my networking conversation when I'm out and someone's like, oh, I really want to buy a house. I'm like, okay, well, think about 7% of the purchase price. That's about what you'll need to get to closing. They're like, okay, cool. But let's have a conversation and I'll break that down for you so that you understand how it's broken up. Now, the reason I said it's your worst case scenario is because that 3% closing costs can be eliminated if the seller pays them on your behalf. So let me say that again. That 3% out of that 7 can bring you down to 4 if the seller pays your closing costs. So your closing costs are made up of the attorney fees, the lender fees, your prorated taxes, all of that, right? So that is a cost that can be paid by the seller. That's when it comes to your agent negotiating on your behalf, letting you know, hey, okay, look, my client is fully approved. They're a great buyer, X, Y, and Z. They're willing to pay full price, but we need the seller to pay these closing costs. So your agent is the one who will negotiate that savings on your behalf.
Now, in most markets, in these markets right now, sellers aren't paying closing costs.
They're not really paying closing costs in this market right now. Now, what I am experiencing here in Atlanta, the last 3 clients that I've gotten under contract over this past month, I've negotiated closing costs for each one of those. That would not have been possible in the market we were experiencing in June and July.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the best time to buy a property is really in the fall, winter, because now, you know, it's once it gets cold outside, real estate slows down. It's just a cyclical market. When it's hot outside, real estate is popping. Things really start to slow down, you know, in these months. September, October, November, December, it's going to be your slower months. So especially for my investors out there, it's really time to ramp up thinking about your investment strategies and trying to acquire real estate. Another reason why you want to think about real estate is because new year, new me, right?
Yes.
So that works for sellers too. Look, I've been with this man too long. I'm ready for a fresh start. I'm ready to sell my house, get a divorce, and it's a thing. Or on the buyer side, look, I want to move into a new house for the new year. I'm not renting no more. I'm not going into 2022 in an apartment. I want a new house. So when you're thinking about that, ding, 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 okay, cool. It's more people that's going to be fluid for different reasons for the holidays. Not only that, holidays. You have people who are trying to, you know, woo their wives or woo their husbands, and they're like, look, I want to put you into a new house for Christmas, baby. Yeah. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I want to have Thanksgiving in our new house.
Right.
So now is a perfect time to think about marketing strategies. And this doesn't just apply to real estate. I don't care if you sell whatever you sell. Think about the psychology of what people are thinking during this time and use your marketing skills to target that and to appeal to that. What would it be like if you were able to walk into your new home for Christmas? Wouldn't that be beautiful? If your children were able to open their presents near a new fireplace, wouldn't that be amazing?
Absolutely.
Those are conversations I have with my clients. I'm getting them to start visualizing themselves walking into this new property. And on the back end, I'm able to close out my year with strong numbers where other people are lax. Other agents are sitting there talking about, oh, I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z for Christmas, or I'm going to take this month off for Christmas. Or no. I'm over here visualizing with my clients. Yeah. Don't you want to be in this house? I'm working through the holidays, you know, and that's the thing about me. When I go on vacation, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm not waiting for Saturday. I can go during the week and I can still work. But people, when they think about vacations, a lot of times they always focus on let me leave them for the weekend. Right. I'll go and I'll pop in somewhere, do a quick Monday to Wednesday and come back and be working while other people are off. So it's like that flexibility of entrepreneurship is just a beautiful thing. Like I can really manipulate the way I move based on what I know I want my clients to do and how many sales I want to have, et cetera, et cetera.
Listen, y'all hear that billionaire talk out there? Do you hear that? Listen, you know, it's funny that you talked about the psychology of it because we, when we built this house, we literally moved in right before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And, and my wife was doing the same thing. She was like, I want to have the new year in our new house. And now she's starting to have that same kind of mannerisms again. I'm gonna have to start watching her. It's funny. Listen, I've never told anybody this story, but she called me when we bought this house. She called me and she was like, babe, I just wrote a check for XYZ. I'm not gonna say the number.
Yeah.
I spit out my coffee and almost crashed because I was like, wait, what? And she was like, yeah, they're doing a new build. And I walked through the model and I liked it. So I put a down payment. I'm like, wait, you just wrote the check. You didn't want to call first, nothing. And she was like, I mean, if it doesn't work, we get the money back. But I like the house. So I wrote the check. I was like, all right.
Oh,
so I guess we get a new house. So it was the craziest thing. But
awesome.
I think the one of the things after I calmed down, right, and
she had that hot vision.
Listen, after I changed my shirt, one of the things that I loved about it is that everything we've done up to that point, you know, even buying and selling other houses, losing other houses, put us in a position where she could do that and not even have to call. Man, listen,
that's the beauty in that.
Felt so good. It felt so good.
You know what I mean? That means that you guys are doing what you're supposed to do together and you're building what you need to build. Because I know she wouldn't do that if you all would suffer based on her decision.
Right.
You know, and so that means that's a testament to you and the way that you all run your household. That's beautiful.
Listen,
that's beautiful.
You know, these girls is over here running. Like one started high school this year. She is in pockets. Let me ask you this: with all the opportunities that present themselves to a woman in your position, is it hard to not get distracted and want to dip your toe in another industry? Like you talk to him, you talk to Trap, and you're like, I could do that.
Yes. Yes. It is. There are so many opportunities. The reason that I'm getting better with that is because now I have the mindset that there is never a lack of opportunity. I think that people get really sidetracked and distracted when they feel like there is a lack. And I just don't believe in scarcity. Yeah. So for me, it goes back to my mindset. I'm like, there are opportunities come to me in abundance. It's one of my affirmations. So if I know that opportunities come to me in abundance, I'm not ever missing an opportunity. Right. So I cannot take my foot off of what is, my bread and butter to go after the new shiny fancy thing, because that may or may not work out. So it's really important to just make sure that you have your foot where, on the gas in the areas that it needs to be in. And then when you layer yourself and give yourself the time and capability to be able to bring on something else or to do another opportunity, then you do that. Yeah. And so I learned this hard lesson because I have lost a lot of time and a lot of money, just investing in different things, thinking like, oh, well, this is going to do this. Oh, that's going to do that. That's going to do that. I've learned and I'm growing in that area now to be like, you know what, let me table that. Yeah. Let me actually put that on my calendar, and in 6 months, I'll come back to it. And that's one of the things people have to think about. You do not have to say yes to an opportunity the first time you hear it. You do not have to just jump and move and say, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna stop the thing that's working. And I'm gonna go try this new thing because it seems like it's funner, faster, get me more money quicker. Because a lot of times we only leave because we think the income is going to be greater. But what you don't realize is that you still have to take the stairs to success with a new business. You still have to go through every step that you went through before. You might have a little bit more knowledge. You might be able to get that LLC approved a little faster because you understand the steps. Right. But you're still going to have to grow and market and campaign and build a brand around that new business. So you have to think about, is this opportunity something I can see myself being a part of in the next 10 years? And if it's not something that I feel like is a long-term play that I can automate, I don't do it. So anything that I do now has to have the ability to be automated in order for me to even consider it. So have your checklist of non-negotiables with regard to opportunities, and they'll start to weed themselves out. You're like, yeah, this sounds like a great income opportunity, but it's going to require too much of my time. I can't do it. Yeah, this seems like it might be the move, but it's going to require me to relocate, so I can't do it. You have to think about your goals, stay strict, and be focused on where you see yourself, and don't allow other people to pull you into their vision because they see your value. So
say that one more time. That's one of the billionaire bars again.
Stay focused on your vision and don't allow other people to pull you into their vision because they see your value. A lot of times people see your worth and value you more than you value you. I've had to learn that. I'm like, wow, look at how you're calling me a billionaire, for example. You know what I mean? Yeah. I could just be like, oh, I cannot think as big as you. I do feel the same way, obviously, but let's just say I didn't. Let's just say I didn't. I could easily be distracted and pulled to you because I'm like, oh, he believed more in me. Let me get on his team. Let me figure out what he got going on. So stop doing that. We have to be focused on what God gave us, our gifts and talents, and make that go. Yeah. And I've doubled down on my own personal brand. Now I believe in myself more than ever, and it is paying off significantly. So you want to be in a position where it's like Denise the Broker times X, you know what I'm saying? X times whatever, as a partnership. You don't want to have to give up what you built to be in partnership or collaboration with someone. That's right. So now I'm not at a place where I'm not giving up Williams & Co. to be with you. Williams & Co. times your company, we can do a collaboration or a joint venture. Yes. But I'm not going to take my foot off of what I built to help you build what you want. So you have to think about it like that too.
Listen, the gems they just coming. And you know what that made me think about is how people look at the social media page, let's say Instagram, they look at Denise the Broker on Instagram and they see the glam, they see the elegance, they see the hair, they see the Denise plates. But I saw you on an ATV recently. I seen you in the woods on an ATV getting your hands dirty. Talk about that transaction and what that experience was like.
Man, listen, so you have to also be flexible, right? You can't just, I have to get my hands dirty with some of my clients. So he recently bought 20 acres of land and he's building his own community. It's so dope. It's called Bean Acres. They're going to have ATVs, you know, golf course. We're going to have putt-putt golf. We're going to have an amphitheater, and I'm saying weird because that's one of the joint venture opportunities that's on the table.
Billionaire.
Literally, when I get back from Cancun, we're supposed to sit down and discuss what that looks like.
Yes.
But, you know, going out there with him, you have to be passionate about what your clients are passionate about and be genuine and authentic in their growth too. So to be able to say, you know what, forget these shoes. Like I forget all of this. I'm going to get on here and I'm going to have a good time because this is life-changing for my client. And I see how passionate he is about what he's acquired and what it could do for the culture and the youth, you know, to teach them how to fish, to teach them nature and farming and feeding the ducks and whales and drinking out of, like, it's just so many different experiences that community is going to provide. I had to experience it for real.
Yeah.
Had to.
One of the things that I loved about it, it probably wasn't even the most, it probably wasn't the part that people could see the most. I always feel like as a culture, we're always a step behind what other cultures are doing, right? And so right now we have real estate and everybody's on bond, like buy real estate, get involved, do your multifamily, like they're teaching all the hacks. And my grandfather who just passed always told us, it's not the real estate, buy the land.
Yes.
Right.
Buy the land.
And so when you showed me that he bought the acres, I was like, that's the move right there.
Yes. So I'm literally buying Destin land for his birthday. So, you know, when we started this podcast, I was on an auction. I lost it, but it's okay. I'll find another one. That's the opportunities, right? I don't have a scarcity mindset. What's to be for me? I'm going to do this podcast because we rock.
Yeah.
You know? And that's so important. One of the things that rings so true to my heart, near and dear, is we can call ourselves a boss all day, right? We can be billionaires like we've been talking about on this call. It might be some billionaires listening in right now. Yes. Let me ask you a question. What happens if another COVID happens and they shut down every grocery store? What happens to us? It does not matter how much money you have. You cannot call yourself a boss if you cannot feed yourself with food and water.
Right.
So to me, we have to get into a mindset of what can we do to be self-sustainable, because money is one thing, but living is a totally different thing. And I think as entrepreneurs, we get so focused on opportunities and money and hustle, but the bare basics, the bare minimum of food and water, we don't have quick access to.
Right.
And our lives can completely be changed in an instant if we cannot get access to that. We're not even going to get on the vaccine topic and all of that.
Yeah.
But rules and regulations can be put into place that can force you to not be able to eat.
Yeah.
Let's put these ideas and businesses to the side for a second.
Right.
How are we protecting ourselves on a day-to-day basis to live? So go out, make sure that you're buying land, make sure that you're investing in learning farming. I purchased a course recently. I'm learning how to farm. You know, I want to know. I want to know these things. I want to know how to make sure that at all times I can eat. It may not be what I want to eat. It might not be a Denise plate.
Right.
But if an apocalypse happens, you know, I know how to grow some tomatoes. You know,
I love
so
it.
We just have to also change our mindsets to that too, because that's an area that we're so out of touch with. Our ancestors would roll over if they knew how disconnected from the earth we are.
Yeah.
And how puffed up we are and how materialistic we are, when half of our children can't tell you the first thing about soil.
Right.
We got to do better. And I'm speaking to myself as I speak to you all. So it's no judgment. Trust me.
Absolutely. Me as well.
I definitely have to do a better job at getting in tune with wells and having access to our own waters.
Mm-hmm.
That is so important. A lot of us want to live close to the city because we want to be where it's popping. That's fine. But get you a lot of land that has access to a well and farmland so that if you ever need to duck off, you can do so.
Yeah, I love it. See, and that's the vision that I wish more of us would paint and I was so excited when I saw you participating in that transaction and that your client, you know, aside from watching you on the ATV, because that was hilarious, but I was so excited to watch you with that transaction because I understand my grandfather did a amazing job, and we actually have some land in Texas and some other places, but it was so impressive to me to see that, you know, last year when we talked, you were just getting into commercial, you know, you were just getting into these different verticals, and then to see that you were doing land and it was a black thing, I was just like,
it's such a blessing. Look how, you know, when you just put things out and you go after it and you work hard, like it literally starts to come with you, you know, that it just comes to you. It's so beautiful when it comes together.
So listen, we're close to wrapping up. I got a few more questions in our lightning round, but I must ask, with all the exposure that you've had over this last year, the Master P's, the Rick Ross's, just the list is ridiculous. The Steve Harveys. What's the dream collab for Denise the Broker?
The dream collab, if it's a person, it's Beyonce, definitely, hands down.
How did I know that was coming?
But an entrepreneur-wise is Joyce Bryant Howroyd. She's dope too. But then also with regard to businesses,
yes,
I'll give you guys, it's the 100th episode, why not? I'll give you guys my upcoming collab. We talked about client experiences, and you've seen me give luxury gifts after luxury gifts. Yes. And now I have received the letter from Tiffany & Co. We are collaborating, and now my agents will receive the Tiffany & Co. package to give to clients at closing. And I am so blown away. So the fact that Beyonce just dropped hers on the 15th.
Yeah.
And to get that approval before I even knew like they were going to be partnered with her, is like, just, I know I'm one step away from our collab. You know what I'm saying? So they're opening up to more diverse partnerships, even at the smaller level.
Yeah. So
we have a business relationship with them, and that announcement will be coming soon. I'm so happy and honored to have that. So now my agents will get Tiffany & Co. I mean, y'all gonna see blue boxes, Williams & Co.
Listen, Williams & Co. and the little blue box.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Wow, that's huge. Again, track record of success, because they wouldn't just do that with anybody.
No. You have to get approved and all that stuff. And
wow.
I mean, just trying to position my company as more of a luxury brand. You know, we have to get out of this discount language. You know what I mean? We have to start talking luxury and use luxury language in our marketing. You know what I mean? We have to stop saying that we're out here helping people. A lot of times when we think about it, especially as Black women, being the help, we're not helping you, we're assisting you, we're repositioning you, we're giving you these different things. And it's like just changing our mindset to more luxury language instead of discounted language is some things that I'm working on just in my own personal growth and development. And now I'm walking, talking, speaking luxury, and it's coming to me. You know what I mean? Like, it takes the same amount of contract writing to write multi-million-dollar deals as it does 200,000. So I'll choose the luxury all day.
Wow. So what is Denise reading right now? What is Denise the Broker, the phenom, the superstar, the Captain Marvel Black Avenger? What are you reading right now?
You know, I always gotta plug my book. Look, I'm reading this every month. So
Let's
get your copy from Denise The Broker.
I love it. Listen, my house got 2 copies. My house got 2 copies.
Look, yes. But I'm actually, that's so crazy, right here at my desk, I'm reading The Magic right now. So I'm reading The Magic. And this book is really dope because it really is talking about your imagination and getting your imagination back. How as a child, we really envision so many different things with our lives. And you kind of lose that with time and disappointment and life and all those things. And we get beat up by life and we lose our spark. But we are magical. Like you can, and it also talks about gratitude. So I was glad that it like re-emphasized what I was talking about. And I'll just read a quick excerpt for you all, actually.
Yes, let's do it.
I think that this is really dope. It says, whoever has gratitude will be given more, and he or she will have an abundance. Whoever does not have gratitude, even what he or she has will be taken from him or her. And so that's so profound because when you think about people, and the things that they get, they're always in that spirit of just gratitude. They're like, oh my gosh, they're grateful, grateful, grateful. And even with people who get so much, millions and billions of dollars, they're always giving it back out and it always coming back to them. Wow. So when people look at my page or they look at the gifts, it's like, wow, she spent all that money on these gifts. It's coming back to me. It's coming back tenfold. You have to. There's one saying that I like to say is, it's hard to think big when little got you.
Ooh.
You can't get big or think big when little got you. If you're thinking about the price tag on everything, if you're thinking about, well, I don't know about that. They don't deserve this much now. I don't need to spend. When you thinking little and small and not in abundance, it's going to always be small for you. You're putting a ceiling on your abundance. Yeah. And I don't believe in ceilings on my abundance. I'm going to give from my heart. I'm going to give what I would want someone to give me. And then it's just going to continue to grow and you'll be blessed because of it.
I love it. Listen, it don't get no better. It don't get no better. So has that book, I've asked a few of my last guests this question, so I'll ask you as well. Has that book helped you to challenge your latest set of belief systems?
I think that it re-emphasized my belief systems. Like when I say it's right on time, the first chapter is about gratitude, and literally that has been my mindset this past year. So it was literally perfect. This book came to me from my associate broker. She was like, I got a book I want you to read that I think is going to be great. And it was just really right on time. Like I didn't know about this book. Yeah. She purchased it for me and gave it to me one day. And so I think sometimes what you need just happens and it comes. So it's really just reaffirming like you're on the right track. You're right there. Just keep pushing, keep being grateful, keep going after it, keep thinking big and envisioning, because where I come from, there was no mansions.
Right.
I didn't even know, like that was not a thing. That was not a thing. For my son, it's normal.
Yeah.
When he goes to school in the morning, it's houses, multi-million-dollar houses that he has to go through to get to school. I said, son, every day, do not be on that phone when you're on that bus. I want you to look at these neighborhoods. I want you to look at this stuff. Absolutely. Every day. So, I'm just grateful.
I love it. I love it. I think that people forget to dream big, and I'm glad that you brought that book up. When I was younger and we were in network marketing and I was cutting my teeth and I was learning all these things about affirmations and, how to attract, the law of attraction. My wife and I, we would go look at, same thing. We would go drive through these neighborhoods. Yes. This is late 90s, early 2000s. We would go drive through these neighborhoods and we would look at, the Rob Report, different things, and be like, okay, this is what I want to have. And I'll never forget one of the houses that we had maybe about 10 years ago. I was walking through the house and long story short, there was a bridge almost, or a balcony connecting our master bedroom to the kids' side of the house. And I was standing there one day and I was like, babe, this is the house we were talking about, where we could look down, see the living room, bridge to the other house. And so now, like I said, she's starting to have that itch, and we've been talking about it. We're starting to look at houses again. So
in Atlanta,
we got a couple states. I don't know. See, Atlanta is one of the things that I think I would love to come visit. I would love to come chill, kick it, act up, all that good stuff, make my business connections. I don't know if it's slow enough for me. I've gotten to the point where I appreciate my peace and calm and quiet.
Oh, it's not calm.
Exactly. See, if I was in Atlanta, I know that I would be forced, right? The Capricorn in me would be forced to partake in all of the festivities.
Oh, yeah.
So, I might be looking at a Texas, Arizona, or something like that.
Houston is nice.
Yeah, Houston goes, look, she making faces now. I think, so yeah, but Atlanta has me. We definitely, like I said, it's already been recorded. We have to come down there now.
I got to come.
We got some family down there. Let's knock out the lightning round, because I want to, again, respect your time. I appreciate you for coming on. So I will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have 5 words ready for you. You tell me the first thing or phrase that comes to mind. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
First word is collaboration.
Collaboration. Tiffany and Co.
Very strong, very strong. I love it. Expectations.
Whatever you expect from someone else, make sure you're willing to provide it as well. So don't have high expectations for other people and you have low expectations for yourself.
Wow. Focus.
Necessary. You can't get to success without focus. Lose the distractions by being so focused on your goals. You're not really distracted if you're focused. So that's just really what it is.
Okay. What about my favorite word, vision?
Vision. Think big and then think bigger than that.
Wow. Okay.
So that's really what it's about. Like millions, now think bigger than that. Billions. Don't stop. And be okay with your vision changing. As you have children, as you have relationships, as you meet people, as you expose to more things, be comfortable with that vision changing. Some people, it's okay. It's okay to change your mind. And I think people feel so obligated to be this way or that way. Live your life to the best of your ability, be happy. And it's amazing that we have these entrepreneur talks, but everyone is not cut out to be an entrepreneur. If your vision for your life is to be the best absolute parent in the world and be involved and engaged with your children on a daily basis, and that brings you happiness and joy and fulfillment, do not feel like you failed in this life. That's not a failure. You're fulfilled. So whatever your vision is, stick to that. And don't be distracted by other people's goals and visions and things, because a lot of people that you see online aren't really happy. They're doing it for marketing too. So just make sure that you're focused on your own personal vision.
I love it. And you know what, before I do the last one, I think that it's important that you said that, because we talk about a lot of, and even though a lot of the principles are, can go both ways, right? You can use this in your personal life. It doesn't always have to be entrepreneurship that you use these principles that you're learning from in this podcast. Right. But I think that it's important to mention that it's okay to change your mind. I think is like most people, especially now in social media, the hot thing is to be a guru in XYZ, right? Yes. And you have to be a guru in hair bundles, and you have to know everything. Yes. You got to have the vendor list. You got to be, but what if I wake up one day and I'm tired of bundles and I want to jump into real estate?
Tired of that.
Right? It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay to change your mind.
But now, you do have to be committed.
You got to make a plan.
Right. You can't change your mind 5 times in 2 weeks. That's not going to work.
No, you can't do that. Can't do that. And you also have to plan your exit strategy. So changing your mind doesn't also have to be a knee-jerk reaction. You can make the decision that my mind has changed, but by next year I'm going to be in this new space. So slowly transition into what that new space looks like. Even for me, I absolutely love being a real estate broker, but I know this is not my end game. So what am I doing? I've hired an associate broker that I'm now grooming and training and teaching so that I can step away from this role, because I want to be able to be focused more on marketing and radio and television and those types of things. So in order to do that, I have to step away from it. It doesn't mean that I don't still love real estate. It just means that my vision has changed and my idea for my life is bigger now and it's different, and that's okay.
I was, one of the questions that sticks in my head every time you and I talk, and I don't think I've ever asked you this, is Williams & Co. built to sell? Is it something that you want to sell at some point with the complete portfolio, or is it something that you want to become a legacy company so that Destin has?
I go back and forth with that question in my own mind. I go back and forth, back and forth. I was literally just pitched maybe a week ago. I got a call and they're like, I want you to look at this business model and I want you to X, Y, and Z and let's talk about it. And I'm like, no, let me own something for a little bit. They always want to acquire us. Yeah. They always want us to conform and join and merge. And it always sounds amazing. Yeah. And it always sounds less stressful, which, you know,
which is a thing. Yeah.
It puts a little twinkle in your eye. Let's just be honest.
Right.
Like, I don't have to do what? You gonna take this and that? But at some point, you still have to make your brand known. Right now, Williams & Co. is my USP. It is what sets me apart. It makes me different. Yeah. You know, that's how I'm on amazing podcasts such as this, because people want to know how to sustain and grow a Black-owned business. So the pride side of me wants to make it a legacy company. Yeah. The selfish marketing side of me, and not even necessarily selfish, but just like the growth side of me is like, but do I need that now?
Right.
So it's, you know, it's really something that I know I'm going to commit to 5 years. Mm-hmm. And we'll revisit the conversation. So we're in year 4 now. You know, by 2023, I'll be even more comfortable. I'll know even more about the business and running this brokerage, and I'll go from there.
So I will say this as a trusted friend, I will say Facebook in 5 years was not Facebook in 15.
Yeah.
Amazon in 5 years was not Amazon in 15. And so knowing what I know of you, I have a thought around that. And the reason that I asked, though, more importantly, is because I think a lot of people, when they listen to podcasts and they listen to different entrepreneurs, they say, oh, if I was sitting on that, I would sell that company and ride off onto the beach somewhere and invest in, you know enough to invest. But it's different to have, you know, when Netflix wanted to buy Blockbuster, they were like, oh, we'll buy you for, you know, $1 million, right? Let's just round up, we'll buy you for this. And then they were like, no. Now when they come back around, when they circle the block, actually that's a bad example because Blockbuster was going out of business. But when they circle the block, you know, now the price done gone up.
It's gone up, you know. Absolutely.
And from what you're building and for the verticals around it and just the mind that you have, right? And the way that you're the way that you're able to open doors for yourself and get in these different rooms. I don't know if they can put that on put that number on there.
Yeah, I know. I do. I go back and forth. I'm just like, let me take it a year at a time. Let me take it. But yes, we've also gotten our approval for Florida. So we do have Williams & Co. International Realty Florida.
Let's go.
We'll be based in Miami. I'm not making that official announcement until either the end of this year or early next year. I'm not ready to hire agents right now at this moment, but I got my letter. It's official. Stamp, boom. Yeah.
Listen, I knew that was coming when you got the Rap Snacks thing. I knew that was coming.
Like, we gotta go ahead and just gotta go and keep on building that.
I love it.
The purchase prices in Miami hit differently.
Oh, listen, I can only imagine. Last word for that lightning round is decision making.
Take your time. You do not have to make a decision like this interview and you need to come up with a question and an answer really quickly, like this lightning round.
Right.
Decisions don't have to be lightning fast. It's okay to take your time and think about it before you react. Please think through it, especially when it comes to your business and if it's something that's going to distract you from what you've already been working on. Make sure that the contracts are solid. I can't tell you how many people I've caught when I was doing coaching calls. I would have conversations with people who were literally ready to just start businesses with people, never even had the first conversation about a contract. Stop making these relationships with people and thinking that we're in a handshake society. We are not in a handshake society. You need to have paperwork in order to protect yourself. And it doesn't mean that anything is going to go wrong. It just means that in the event it does, we understand where things go. You don't want to assume that it's going to be 50-50. you don't want to assume that, because it's really hard to monetize 50% of the work from each person, because somebody is going to be stronger in this area than others. Yeah. Some of that is going to be intangible, some of it's going to be tangible. How do you measure that?
Wow.
Make sure that you're clear with regard to what your visions are, what your income goals are, how much income and skin you're going to put into the game up front, and what happens if that's dissolved. People don't like to have that conversation. It's almost one of those things where people don't like to talk about death, but we know we need life insurance. You need to have life insurance by way of contracts in your business. What happens if that business dies? What happens? Just like with your family, what happens if that breadwinner dies? You have to have that plan in place. So don't ignore the elephant in the room.
Right.
Talk about it. So yeah, I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but I hope it was helpful.
Oh, yeah, somebody need to hear it. That's one of those somebody needs to hear it. Two more questions and then we wrap up. I recently asked one of my mentors in all of entrepreneurship and all of their experience what they were best at and if they were happy operating in that space. And the reason that I ask is because I am best under a deadline, but I hate being under a deadline. I can't stand it, but I know that I'm bomb. I know that I'm like really good in that space. Like I can, I can move under pressure.
Like this, I'm like, well, can we do it now? You're like, well, give me 10 minutes.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like 10 minutes, I'm gonna pop on. Let's do it.
Absolutely. But I know that, like in terms of functionally running a business, I know that I don't like deadlines, right? But I know that I produce some of my best work under deadlines. Where is Denise the best, and is she happy in that space?
I think that I'm the best with relationship building and really putting people together. Like I am literally like a glue stick walking around Atlanta. Like just a glue stick. Like that's the best way to describe it. And it fits my personality so well. It's so crazy. Like people, they have one impression of me on social media, then they meet me in person. It's like, wow, she's like really cool. Like she's super down to earth. Like
absolutely.
Relationships is my thing. I thrive in that space. I thrive in that space. So I would say that is what I'm good at. That is what I'm best at. That is how I've been able to grow a team, because it's one thing about starting a business. It's another to have people follow you.
Yeah.
So if people are gravitating towards you and like literally asking to be a part of what you have going on and things of that nature, like they have to see some type of light in you. So I think that is definitely my superpower, relationship building, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. Trap, I was listening to an interview Trap did, and he mentioned the book Who Not How. And when I heard the title and he started talking about it, I thought about you. And I was like, that's Denise all day long.
You know, it's not what you know always.
Yeah. Last question. What does the word visionary mean to Denise Williams?
The word visionary to me means someone who is really focused and laser focused on changing the world. Like, because to me, vision shouldn't be something that is little. It shouldn't be something that's small. It should be something that impacts masses of people. So when I think, or I consider myself a visionary, it's because I know that my knowledge, my expertise is not a local type of deal. I live in Atlanta, but my knowledge and my skill set expands far beyond where I live and where I am. And so my vision for just myself and my life is like, what can I do that can impact someone in Ghana right now? What is something I can do that can impact someone in Italy? So that's how my vision spans. It's not about just my local market. It's about impacting lives all over the world. So that would be what I would say is visionary to me.
I love it. Well, listen, it don't get no better than that. For if they've been under a rock, if they are brand new to social media, if they just got out from doing a bid, where can everybody find Denise the Broker online?
Yes, Denise the Broker on all channels, Instagram, Facebook, not Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, but I am on TikTok. So Denise the Broker on TikTok, Denise the Broker on Clubhouse. My website, denisethebroker.com, ceowneracademy.com. You can check that out as well for courses. And then WilliamsandCoRealty.com. That is my real estate brokerage, my baby. Shout out to my agents. I always like to shout out my team. So shout out to you all. And also my students in the CEO Owner Academy. I promise the relaunch is coming soon and it's going to be better than ever. I'm really excited about that. And where else? Yeah. Thank you again for this opportunity. So y'all check me out, follow me, and spread the word. Share this podcast. We need to support Chuck in 100 episodes.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations. That's huge. Like, that's commitment. That is commitment. I started a YouTube channel. I ain't posted a video in so long. It's hard to stay committed.
It is.
To those consistent episodes. So hats off to you.
Thank you. You know, the one thing before we close out, the one thing I didn't get my high CEOs.
You did not get that.
I didn't.
Hi, CEO. Bye, CEO.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been rocking with the great one, Denise The Broker, and yours truly, Chuck Hawkins, here at the Hawk Vision Podcast. We've been talking about real estate, mindset, power moves, and so much more. I hope this interview was informative. I hope we've added a smile to your day, but most importantly, we sincerely hope that we've helped you shorten the learning curve on your journey to greatness. Like, share, subscribe across all your platforms. Send in your messages and guest suggestions. I can't continue to grow this show without you, my visionaries. And remember, I just get choked up every time, but you know what we always say, there is no miracle that will ever happen without someone either doing something or believing in something. We'll see you either at the top or from the top. The choice is yours. Denise, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.